Okay, so this is how I get aosparadox marshmallow ROM to boot as secondary ROM with multirom. This is assuming that you have already pre-installed TeamWin Recovery Project, multirom, and a kernel that supports multirom, or at least a ROM that supports multirom. Alright, so first things first is you need to go through and make a backup of all of your secondary ROMs. If you don't, they will no longer boot, and you'll lose all that information, as I have not found a way to make them boot afterwards. So to do that, you go to Advanced, go to Multirom, List ROMs, and then you click on each individual one and hit Backup. I'm going to just do one of them because the other one is what I'm showing you. Okay, and of course name it whatever you like. Okay. Now this will take a little bit. Okay, so once this is finished with the backup, I'm going to go back to the main menu. Then you want to go to Advanced, Multirom, and you want to swap ROMs. I'm going to select the first option, which is pre-selected, swap primary ROM with secondary, which is what you're going to want to do. I'm just going to choose the one I made a backup of because I don't need that anymore because I have the backup. So this might take a little bit, and I will get back as soon as it's done. Alright, now that it is done with the swapping of the two ROMs, what you want to do is go back to the main menu. You want to go through and go Wipe, hit Advanced, select Dalvik Cache, System, Data, and Cache Partitions, and then wipe it. It should only take a few seconds. Once that is done, go back to the main menu, hit Install, and then choose the ROM, choose the aosparadox marshmallow ROM you want to install. I will be using the build from October 28th, 2015. Now this is a big part of it. Where it says inject multirom after installation, you want to make sure that is unchecked. If it's checked, it'll inject it and the ROM will not boot because it is not compatible. If you uncheck it, it won't inject it, obviously, and the ROM should boot just fine. And I'm also going to go ahead and install the gaps package. So I'm going to hit add more zips, and I have downloaded here the Slim Mini Gaps Beta 6, built October 24th, 2015. I've not found any other gaps package that works with this particular build aside from the Slim ROM packages, whether it be the Slim Mini Gaps or the Slim Zero Gaps. Both of them work fine. I just chose the latest build because it's the most stable. So let's go ahead and do that and install. Now installation should take probably 2 to 3 minutes, so I will get back to you after it is done. Alright, now that it is done installing the ROM and the gaps package, before we reboot, we want to make sure that we do this one thing real quick. being that this version of the ROM Wi-Fi is borked, it does not work, it causes reboots as soon as you turn it on. We need to take and get rid of the setup wizard.apk, because when that initiates, it automatically turns on Wi-Fi and thus will cause the ROM to reboot continuously, and you have to go into recovery and just wipe it and start all over. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Advanced, go to File Manager. Oh, actually first we need to go to Mount. We need to mount the system. Alright, so once we have the system mounted, then we go to Advanced File Manager. We're going to scroll down to System. And we're going to scroll down to PrivApp. Then we're going to scroll all the way down to Startup Wizard right here. We're not going to delete the whole folder. You can if you want. Just for the ease of it, I'm just going to delete the APK here. So go here and delete. And that's done. Alright, so then now all we gotta do is reboot. Now also note that because we did not inject the multirom boot image, you will not be loading into the multirom boot menu. So it will completely bypass that and go straight into the operating system's boot animation like we see here. It will reboot once. It'll finish, look like it's about to boot up the ROM, and it will reboot. But that should be the only time that happens. Once that's done, then it'll boot back up as if everything is good. And the initial boot can take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to pause it here and get back as soon as the ROM has settled and is actually in the UI of the ROM. Okay, that happened rather fast because, like I said, my partition I was swapping over does not have a ROM, it's just a kernel. So after that, you hit back, and you should be good to go. All you should have to do now is reboot. You should get multi-ROM, and just choose your marshmallow build. Now, because of us flashing the marshmallow build, our other secondary ROMs are now no longer bootable. Hence why we made the backup in the beginning. So if you want to go ahead and add those back in, that's simple. Just go to Advanced, Multi-ROM, go to Add ROM, hit Next, hit Backup, and then I think it was this one. Just choose the backup that you made and start. This process may take a little bit, but once that is done, all you have to do is reboot, and you will get multi-ROM menu, and you just select which one you want. I'm going to pause it, come back after my restore is done, and show you. Okay, so the ROM just booted up. And give me a minute. Alright. And there it is. Everything exactly the way I had it before. Yep. Alright, and that is how you make aosparadox beta marshmallow boot into a secondary ROM slot with multi-ROM, while keeping everything that you had prior. Alright, if you have any questions or anything regarding the process, please send me a private message over at XDA. My username is Deathblade, and you guys have a good day. Okay, now that the ROM has booted up and is ready to go, there's obviously some issues with this ROM as stated in the XDA thread. One of them being that Wi-Fi doesn't work, obviously. Another one is one that I've found. It's when you have no notifications, the quick toggles here don't actually pull down. It's just stuck at this without the notification. I'm not sure what notification this is. It's all just white. But everything's good to go. You got Google Play Store. In order to add your account, you do have to go and do that manually in settings, sadly, but that's purely because we took and got rid of the system wizard.apk as it would cause the device to reboot. So, from here, you can do one of two things. One, you can go ahead and continue on with the process to put this as a secondary ROM, or two, you can go ahead and set it up the way you want, add all your apps, change all the settings to how you like it, and then go about doing the secondary ROM. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and dive in and show you how to do the secondary ROM portion. For this, I will have to turn the device off as it does not have a built-in reboot function. Also, to my knowledge, super user, so root does not work on this build. It is being looked into and potentially will be working in upcoming builds. Alright. So, get back into recovery, you press and hold power button and the volume down button until you see the OnePlus logo. And then you release, and then it should boot into recovery. It might take a few seconds or so, but it'll get there. Alright, now that we are in Team Win Recovery, all we gotta do now is go to Advanced, go to Multirom, go to Swap ROMs, and once again, swap primary internal ROM with secondary. I'm going to choose the option on mine that says unknown. It is unknown because for that partition, I don't have a ROM, I just have AK kernel installed, which is multi-ROM compatible, and thus alleviates the need to have a ROM for that slot. That's just my personal preference on how to do it. You can do it however you want, just so long as you make sure to select a multi-ROM supported ROM or kernel or both as the one to be switched into the primary. So we'll go ahead and do that, and again, this might take a little bit. Okay, now that my ROM has been restored, I'm going to go ahead and reboot. And yeah, like I said, I have no operating system installed on my primary. That's fine. Okay, we got OnePlus. Alright, so here's the multi-ROM menu. Now, alright, so I have two Android M, Android Marshmallow builds installed. This is one I installed prior, this is one I just installed, and then this one is the backup I just restored. So, let's go ahead and show you that it boots as a secondary ROM. If I can hit the right one. Okay. Now the second boot into the ROM will be much faster than the initial. That's purely because the system has to cache in the apps of the ROM and everything. But as you can see, that was nice and speedy. We're already in. We're good to go. And again, the only issues I've found is the Wi-Fi and this. I can't see, no notifications. I can't drag this down any. Which is alright. It's pain, but I can live with it. And let's go ahead and just show you that the restored ROMs will actually work. Alright. I would like to take this time and apologize for the poor quality of the video and the skippiness and the length. Also, I would like to state that I'm not responsible for any bricking, any data that might be erased, any incidents at all regarded to this process. You are doing this of your own will and risk, and I'm not to be held accountable for any mishaps. Now, because I restored the ROM I backed up, I didn't back up the cache, so it might take a minute, up to 10 minutes to boot. So it's probably going to take a little bit. So I'm going to pause the video again, and once it's back up, I'll be back.